All right, so we're going to do another PAC unscripted video for Mozaik. These have been really fun for me, so I'm just going to keep it going. Basically, if I'm interested enough in something and I think it's a good topic, I'll go start to finish, and you just get to see it's unscripted, unfiltered. So they might get long, might be super short, whatever, but you do get all the nuggets, basically. I'll talk out loud while I do it. So today, I want to talk about this is kind of a fun one. So let's move this around. All right, vent hole cutouts for doors. The circle ones are pretty easy. Um, what we want to do though is these elliptical. So these ones right here. We could definitely do these in Mosaic. And this is one of those topics where normally if you post this on the forum, you're going to get the answer, just do it in VCarve, which is fine. But if you don't want to do it in VCarve and you do want a parametric version of this in Mosaic, that's what this video is all about. So before I get too far into the weeds, in case you skip a bunch of the video, the important things we want to talk about with machining something like this is please make sure that you have enough cutting edge length on your tool to make it all the way through this cutout. And we're also going to be making a pocket, not a closed tool path. Because when we make a pocket, we're actually able to pocket everything out and we don't get that little puck that gets sucked up into the dust collection or tossed across the shop. So we're specifically talking about the 1/8 inch down shear, or maybe you need to use an up shear. If you're going to do a cutout in 3/4 material, you need a long 1/8 inch up shear. You could use a long down shear too, but preferably a long up shear. Now with a shaker door like this, we've basically got a 1/4 inch pocket typically on a 3/4 material. That means there's 1/2 inch left over. So you have a 1/2 inch of cutting edge length at least on your down shear. It's 1/2 inch or 5/8 depending on where you bought it. What we want to avoid is even when that 1/2 inch is cutting through, we can't have more meat than that. Otherwise, the tool shank will run into the material and break it. Anyways, just trying to protect you a little bit from whatever little breakage or potentially getting your tool holder red hot and burning something. So other than that, we're going to do it fully parametric. When I say fully parametric for this ellipse pattern, the one thing we can't do is well, we can't do a true parametric ellipse in Mosaic, but we can do a pretty darn good job. So I'm gonna set the whole thing up for you. I don't know, maybe this might take 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how much I'm yapping. So, but we're gonna do it the right way. And remember, this is version 14 right now. You could do this on version 13. If you're on version 12, please update. And yeah, let's get started. So go into Mosaic. I've just got a regular shaker template set up right now. So this is my S01, and we're going to add the elliptical pattern to these upper door cabinets. Now, we need to call upon user parameters, right? We did this in another video. I think it was unscripted 001. We need to add our user parameters into our construction method because right now, the door library, you can't add user parameters to a specific door yet. We're all praying for that to happen someday. Hopefully version 15, 16, or 17. That'd be amazing. Anyways, let's get started. So we need to add it to, I'm going to add it to frameless V12 and then frameless blind data. I'll go to edit and I need to be in the other category. And let's look back at this pattern. So we need the length of the ellipse. I'm going to call it a petal. It's like a flower petal or something. So we need the length of the petal. We need the separation. So from the centroid of the flower, how far is the separation? So we'll go like, I don't know, we'll call it about 1/2 inch or something. So we need petal separation, petal length, and then we need a petal elevation. So from the top down. Now, remember, all these user parameters, you could apply to just a simple hole as well. And there's some other cooler vent patterns that we're not going to do today, but we could in the future. You just let me know. All right, so we have our 3 parameters that we think we need. We might realize we need another one later on, but we'll go pedal separation. I'm not going to add a description for this one, but I'll just say 1/2 inch for now. And then I'll add another one. And we're just using the type number. We don't need anything fancy here. We could say pedal. Well, we do need pedal width. Forgot about that one. And we need pedal length. Pedal width is pretty self-explanatory. And then we've got pedal elevation from the top. Let's say we're 9 inches down to the centroid. Separation, we'll do 1/2 inch. The width, we'll just do 1 inch. And the length, let's do like 2.5 inches. Oh, let's go 3. All right, so once you enter these, you have to save as. And just be careful when you're doing this because I would say start a new job and do this first, because if you do this to an old job and you had a bunch of edits to your job parameters that aren't normal, you would be saving over your original job parameters. So either save right here, or you could just add another version. So you could say frameless blind dado, pedals, and then you keep everything safe. So if um, you're not like the keeper of the construction methods at your company, then maybe just do this to be safe, right? So we don't piss anybody off. All right. So now that we say okay, once we say okay, now the door library has access to those user parameters. This next part is actually, I mean, pretty easy, but just that concept in itself is extremely important to understand. So I've just got a hodgepodge of doors in here. We're going to look for, I went to libraries and then doors, and I'll take this shaker 2.5 inch style rail door, double click. We're going to copy him. And with all these doors, if it's a glass door, I like to put S001 GL, capital G, capital L. If it's a back pocket door, I'll put a BP. If this is a pedal door, you could make your own acronym. If this is something you're doing all the time, do that. Or you could just call it like C, as in custom, right? So this is our custom door. What's cool about that is it's a smart way to name, because then it also alphabetizes. So you still have your standard S01 door, drawer, reduced, base end panels, all that stuff. And then you have your custom. And you could do custom. And then at the end, if it's glass, if it's back pocket, I always do in all caps what it is. So this is pedal. We'll call it pedal. This is like a great way to name. It's the very best way to name MDF doors, especially if you have more than 1 or 2 patterns. All right, cool. Let's get into the good stuff. So we're going to look over this before we make it. We've got a 1/4 inch panel recess. That's standard, 2.5 inch style and rails. And once we click edit and we start messing around in here, we can't go back and change this. But the cool thing is, once we get this programmed, we can literally copy and paste all 4 pedals and put them on any door we want, as long as this frameless V12, the frameless blind dado parentheses pedals construction method is open in that job. So pretty easy. So I clicked on the panel, we'll say edit, and we get to do all our fun stuff. I'm going to, just so you guys can look, I can remember these, but let's do because there's only 4 of them. Let's do a screenshot. I'll bring it over here. And we'll make this smaller. Get situated. Could pause through the painful part, but not going to. All right, we get this. And then let's bring up a little inspo pic too. I mean, this is the same thing you'd be doing if you were doing this in your office too, with a different design, right? You kind of just, you want to have your inspo pick up, you want to have your user parameters up. You can actually see what the heck you're doing. And I'm trying to do this all on like one little screen, so, oh, I botched that. I'm gonna pause and get this ready. All right, we finally got situated. So I'm just gonna edit this thing in Paint, kind of just go through the logic of, okay, what are we even doing here? So from the top of the door here, from the top of the door to the center line, that would be, that's not the top of the door right here, down to the center line. That's gonna be our petal elevation, right? Our petal separation is from the center, here, 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 here. Petal length is pretty obvious. Petal width is obvious. Now the way we want to draw this, we want to use, we're not using a closed toolpath, remember, we're going to use a pocket. But we need 4 points. Basically going to overlap 2 points on top of each other in the same place here, here, and that would give us 2 lines down the center that we're going to bulge here and here, right? That bulge value is going to be half of our petal width. Easy enough. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. So let's go back to libraries and doors. It shouldn't even take that long to do. But there's some pretty, it, the, where it gets complex is, which operation am I going to use? Which, am I making a tool group? Am I attaching a pocketing tool? Am I attaching a dado tool? I'm going to help you with all that. I'll give you the best path forward so that you're not making a bunch of mistakes when you're machining this. All right, here's our buddy. We've got the door. This is the top of the door. I'll explain most of it while I'm going through it. So remember, we're not going to do a toolpath. This is the knee-jerk reaction to use a closed toolpath, and you totally can. Go for it if you want to. There's a lot of reasons why we're not going to use a toolpath, but if you did, just be careful of that little puck in the middle. It might not get sucked up in the dust collection, but it might just get jarred around and break that 1/8 inch bit. And the reason I keep talking about this 1/8 inch bit is because we really don't, we want that 16th inch radius on the inside. Or maybe you do it with a 1/4 inch or 3/8 because you want less of a radius. Because we're just going to a point there. So whatever the radius of the tool is, that's what you're going to be left with in your petal pattern. So really you just use that tool to your advantage to get it to look how you want. Because we're not going to do a bunch of tool paths and bulges on the edges. It just gets too weird and it's too much. Cancel that. We'll do a pocket toolpath. This one gonna get a little weird, but we'll start on our 0 typically. Let's do 0. This is our 0, 0 on the bottom left here, but we're gonna start at part L, and then we're gonna go to part W divided by 2. We're just going down the center of the door. We want to think of this whole thing as just starting from the center and working out this way, right? So working on W. Okay, so we're gonna take this guy and we'll hit the calculator for the y. Remember, all these have to be formulas. We're gonna say part W divided by 2. I'm gonna put it in parentheses. You don't need this one in parentheses. I just like to do it for when I copy and paste. And these are not case sensitive. I just makes the OCD feel better, and then later on when you go through, you feel a little less crazy when everything looks orderly. So this would be 0, 0, part W divided by 2. This one also is. Now, when I do this one, it's just going to go to the same place. I'll just show you what's going to happen if I do this. Right. So I'm going to do this bulge now before I bring this other point down. So click on the line, then go to bulge, hit the calculator, and then we're going to do petal width divided by 2. See, we don't need parentheses if we don't want. All right. So that's 1/2 inch right there. It looks a little crazy right now because it's so long, but we're going to shorten it up here in a moment. And then this one, we might as well get a jump on this one too. We're going to do pedal width divided by 2. And then this one is going to be part W divided by 2. I mean, as you can see, it's not really that hard. Just knowing how to machine it and where to put those user parameters. This is going to be way faster than vcarve once you get this set up. I mean, so much faster. Okay, so we have our first little pedal, right? So let's start getting the position. Let's start with the position of this one. So let's think of it, it needs to start in the centroid and then move its way up, separation, basically. So we're going to start on the X. We'll go part L, and I'll just show you where we're at. Part L is the end of the door, right? So now if we say part L minus pedal elevation, we're that 9 inches down. We're 9 inches down from the top. So we're in our center right now. And then we just want to move up. We're going to say plus pedal separation divided by 2. Now this one needs to be in parentheses. Or you could just do pedal separation. So it's 1/2 inch from the, yeah, let's just do that. So that's that one right there. Now I've done this a lot, so I'm not freaked out by all these points being in a weird place. Just bear with me here. I'm going to copy and paste this one. Now we're going to click on this other point. Remember, when you click on these points, be careful that the values are still blue that we have manipulated already. I'm going to paste that value in X. They're always on the same place, right? All right, so we've got our first edge of our pedal. Now we need to move 3 and 2. So in 2, let's just do this. Let's pretend we have the same value as the other one. All we have to do is just subtract the pedal length. We'll go in here and we'll say minus pedal length. And we always copy and paste. Oh, excuse me. We're going to do plus. Plus pedal length. Control C, Control A, Control C. And this one, we're going to do the same thing. On the X. There you go. There's our first pedal. Remember though, we can manipulate all these different values. We're just going to get the first 4 done, and then we'll do the rest of them. I know it's not like great scale. We kind of want to look at something a little cooler than that. What are we? 3.5. Let's do 0.75. See if that looks nicer. Products, doors. Here's our pedal. See, that looks like a nice pedal there. I mean, the designers will send you some of I mean, they're always so different. But this is probably the most common one I see. Alrighty. So now this is super important. So let's go down and talk about how we're going to actually machine this. All right. So we do need a depth. A lot of the times we don't need a depth because we're using a panel tool group, but this time we want a depth. So I'm going to go on the calculator for depth. Very important, you need to put part TH. Actually, I wonder if part TH even works in here. Let's do this. Let's do door.th. Okay. So we got door.th. And that does the depth for the entire pocket. Now, if you just want to do a perimeter cut in here, basically a closed toolpath, You could come in here and use any tool that you want, right? I'm going to have a perimeter tool cut. Going to be the 1/8 inch down shear. Now let's think about that. What's going to come in first? Yeah, so the pocket's going to happen first and then the 1/8 inch down shear. I know I have a 1/2 inch left here and I've got at least 3/4 to 7/8 stick out on that collet for the tool. So I'm going to use my 1/8 inch down shear. Remember though, you might need to use an up shear or something longer or whatever. If you wanted a different radius on the end of this, then you would use something else like a 3/8 bit or a 1/4 inch. Okay. And then we need to add a pocketing tool. This is super important. I think version 13.1.0 or 7 or something introduced use pocket tool. Make sure you say use pocket tool. It's not going to use your big one, and we're going to do this right now for those of you that are about to go run this without watching the entire video. So I'm going to say inside out, clockwise. Let me show you what you have to do before you go buck wild with this thing. Go to the optimizer. You should be doing this. If you're running MDF doors, you should be doing this regardless. Excuse me. I'm going to go in libraries and then, sorry, view and then optimizer. Wait for this guy to wake up. I've kind of seen 14.1.7 as the optimizer opens really quickly, which I think is interesting. Okay, so we're going to go to libraries, CNC tooling, go to your ATC tool sets. So normally in here, you're going to have a frost pocket tool or Vortex or Royce Air or Mano, whatever, doesn't matter. If you haven't got training in a while, you probably don't have this pocket tool selected here. You really want pocket selected. And then your pocket options just very quickly. If you have a shop saber, I would be careful of the raster because sometimes it seems to dive itself into reduced rails for whatever reason. So raster or spiral and put a little radius on there. 1/4 inch is fine. Anyways, that's just an update that you should already be doing. So you have your pocket options and pocket, but we can also call something else a pocket tool. Um, you could call your 3/8 compression a pocket tool. You could do your down shear as a pocket tool if it can fit in there, right? And it has to be ramping. So this one is fully up to you. I myself, in this circumstance, I would want to go, okay, my 3/8 is a pocket tool. Mozaik will never use this as a pocket tool unless the pocket can't fit your larger pocketing tool, the 40 mil. So this is really important to know. Even if you have cutout or pocket selected, Mozaik is always looking for the largest pocket tool it can fit inside that pocket. So we're pretty darn safe here. We'd have to off-road really hard and kind of black out and program this to screw it up. But basically, I'm going to add pocket here, and this is safe. This won't affect anything else except this custom toolpath we're doing. Unless you've already activated other things as pocket. So watch out. Maybe you have 1/2 inch down shear, 1/4 inch down shear selected as a pocket. In that case, maybe you want to do a pass depth of a 1/4 inch, right? Just be aware if you're not the one running the CNC or you're not the master of the optimizer and you're just messing around on a Saturday on your Mozaik watching this video, be careful that you turn this pass depth back to whatever it was before because this is a global change. Anyways, enough safety precautions. So we've got placeholder 3/8 compression. Cool. That's what we're doing. Change that. Freaking me out. All right, regular. I'm gonna pick the 3/8 compression because it has an up shear at the bottom, and I just think that's better for that ellipse. Unless it chips it all out. I don't know. We'll see. We can always change it and rerun it. You're going to run a sample anyways, so it's not a big deal. So we'll say okay. Now we have access to that 3/8 compression for the pocket. So we'll go back, we'll get out of here. I mean, dude, we're already basically there. We're gonna have some more fun finishing off this thing. I'm gonna show you how to kind of mirror this pedal. So we'll click on the panel, we'll edit. How long is this thing? 25 minutes already? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Lots of nuggets though, it's fine. So let's take, I'm gonna highlight right here. We're gonna take this ellipse. Oh, you can watch this on 2-speed if it's freaking you out how long this is taking. So beats paying for a training though, right? All right, so we've got pocket 1.1. I'm going to highlight right here. You can click on one of these, hide it, and now I can highlight this. I can highlight this pocket, copy, paste, clicking on these buttons up here. Remember, whenever you paste, it pastes the operation down to the bottom of the list, so you can always find it. Well, let's do 0.1 first. So we'll take our X, and we don't have to get fancy and redo all this. We can just be like, well, let's take out pedal separation. So literally right now we are at the centroid. You know what we could have done? We could just minus pedal separation. So top of the door is part L, minus the 9 inches for pedal separation. That's our centroid. And then we're going to add, which takes us to the left towards the 0 point. We're going to add pedal separation. That's literally all we got to do for that one. And then the other one, we'll just add pedal length. Super easy. So we got that. 4 and 0.4 and 0.1 are the same. 0.2 and 0.3. This is where we're going to come in here and paste that same thing. And we're going to say minus pedal length. I copied and pasted. I'll bring it over here too. So it takes way longer to draw than it would in VCarve, but I'm about to show you the fun part here in like, give me 5 minutes. So proportions are a little odd, that's okay. Let's do our other two pedals. So you could like, if you're a brainiac, you might be able to like rotate this along the centroid with some kind of trick. I don't think that will help anyone if we try to do that. So let's just take this one, and I'm just gonna kind of force these over to the other side. So I'm really interested in this centroid here. That one's easy, right? So I'm gonna drag a box around the whole ellipse, copy, paste. It's at the bottom. Let's take 0.1 and put it like right here. So we know we need to go part L minus elevation. So we're in the centroid. And I mean, shoot, that's all. That's where it needs to be, right? And then the Y, part W divided by 2. And then we'll just say plus pedal separation. Now we're up right where we need to be, right? We're going to make 4 points here. I'm going to copy and paste these things to the other one, to point number 4. I'll click on this and I'll get the X. I mean, it may, if you're trying to practice and become a formula ninja, giving you all the base nuggets, and then this might be a little hard to follow along, honestly, because I'm doing a lot of things just because I do them all the time. This is kind of cool, actually. We have like a diagonal thing going on. Yeah, that would be fun. You could do like 6 or 8 petals. Design-wise, that would be pretty weird, but no, you could do the 4 and then the 2 nested inside of each other. Whoa, that would be nice. I also, random side rant thing. Check this one out. This is badass. This is really cool. It would be hard to get in there. I bet they use a 16th bit or they use a pole saw after the fact to get this right. You could program this one super easily. Same thing. Now I have a feeling it only looks good with high gloss like this photo, but and also like why is this door sitting inward? Did they forget the door catch, or like maybe they're those magnetic ball ones? They just got pushed in. Weird. Anyways, so lots of other designs you can do. So now we've got point 1 and point 4 sitting right on top of each other. Now let's take point 2 and point 3. We're going to shoot them up here. Well, it's pretty, I mean, dang. It's all pretty, like, pretty easy. We got part L minus part elevation. So I'm getting both these points onto my center point. Now we just need to push them up. Oh yeah, so easy. So we'll take the Y. We'll take part W divided by 2 plus petal separation. And then we can add that here. And then we'll say plus petal length. Cool. Look at that. Now this other one, we can just mirror it. We remember how to mirror, right? From the first video. So let's mirror this thing to the other side. We couldn't mirror this one to here. You'd have to mirror on a point that we could technically. Just wouldn't be a good thing to practice. I don't think it would be very useful. So I'm going to highlight this one, copy, paste. And then we'll go down here, and the X isn't going to change, right? We just have to mirror the Y. This is brainless activity. I love this. So we just put everything in parentheses, part W minus, send it down. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. Just trust yourself that you know how to put parentheses, move over, part W minus. Won't do anything too fancy here. We'll just do them one at a time. And by the way, we've done enough work to where I like autosave for my save Spidey senses are tingling, so we should probably save. Although, if you're on 14.1 or later, it is auto-saving now, which is cool. I don't know what it would do though if we have the operations panel open, if it would actually auto-save this. Probably not, until we click OK. Save. Okay, so technically we're good to go. Let's test it out. So we'll go into wall door, and I'll find my S001C that we made. It's at the end of the list. It's not alphabetical because we didn't sort it. Now, when I choose this, say okay, I have some options here. We picked our same S001 shaker tool group. It's the same thing. We're saying use pocket tool. It's going to use our 40 mil for the large pocket, and then our 3/8 compression for the small pocket, which should be a fine idea. We'll find out. Just watch the machine. It's not going to like do anything too crazy. If it does, it'll like chip up some MDF if you have your pass depth at 1/2 inch potentially, but or if you're using a standard compression, it's not the end of the world. All right, so we'll say okay. I like to have glass door cutout set to none preference. Okay, so this is our slab basically with our petals, because remember we hid the pocket operation. So right now we would want to make dang sure that we have a tool that's long enough to cut through this. If we're doing that with an 1/8 inch down shear with a 1/2 inch cutting edge length, we're gonna break the tool instantly. Pretty close to. Oh, and hopefully you are watching this all the way because I did forget one thing at the beginning. I mean, on principle, if you're doing something like this, you should probably watch the whole video. But if you didn't, let's turn that operation back on. So one thing you want to watch out for is pass depth for your 1/8 inch down shear. So we'll go back here, we'll go CNC tooling, tool sets, down shear. Sure, these are pretty standard. Pass depth is 1/8 inch. That's perfect. You could go 3/16, go 1/4 inch, because it's not doing the pocket itself. Just be aware if you have an 1/8 inch pass depth on your 1/8 inch down shear, it's going to take a lot of passes to do really anything on your MDF doors. So you wouldn't want to leave it like this. And then if you're concerned that you're going to make a mistake, just like grab some training and I can help you. Um, yeah, there's other things to learn. Anyways, let's get out of here. Oh yeah. And it's just going to automatically update. Okay, we're looking a little big for the pedals for this thing, but this is the cool part. So now let's go to libraries, go to edit, and keep your eye over here, right? That's what we're looking at. Um, let's say these are a little long, so let's go 2.5. Click OK. Gonna make them smaller, see? Hmm. Oh, they actually look like amazing. But let's separate them a little bit more. Maybe we do 1 inch separation might be okay. No, it looks terrible. Oh, another thing I missed or just didn't mention is with the pocketing operation, when you select a tool, this is actually extremely important. Extremely important. Let's edit. So you have a pocket operation, you select a toolpath tool, going to cut on the inside of the line, which is good for us. That's what we want. If you were to do a closed toolpath, it'd be cutting on the center of the line. One of the many things that should have been said at the beginning. So now we have that info. And we have unloaded a lot of information in this video. Oh my lord, 38 minutes? Fine, I'm just projecting. Okay, so we've got our width is 0.75. I mean, it looks really good. Yeah, that's nice. And if you're freaked out by the long lines, if you don't know this already, Mozaik, that's just, it's turning it into polylines so that it can show us, but it's an actual curve. Well, yeah, it's not going to look like that when you cut it out. Mozaik render is just being lazy. Or rather, being considerate of our GPU. All right, I mean, that's it. So now let's bring one to the CNC and make sure. I'm going to show you some nuggets in there too that apply to curved objects. Oh, kind of stuff. Put a cabinet in there. Sure. Oh, it needs to be an upper. Oh yeah, awesome. That's so good. And remember, if you want to, you could go in here. I mentioned this at the beginning, but you could add this to any other door profile. You just have to highlight your go to Operations tab, highlight the pedals, copy, and then paste them to another door with the paste button. So easy. All right, we have ourselves doors, all parametric. You could also change it from here. This is kind of a, I mean, this is awesome too. So if we go into the 3D while we're in the elevation, you can click off into white space, then go to job params. And we could change it here and we could watch the entire job change auto refresh basically. So we want to do 1 inch wide pedals. Wait for it. Oh yeah. That actually looks really good. It's amazing how such a small change can really, and we could change the elevation. Oh, yeah, awesome. So I'd probably like measure this to make sure that this top from this end of the pedal to the styling rail the same distance as from here to here. That would be really nice. Just making sure that the design concern here is that you have a fixed shelf on accident right behind these pedals. It looks like garbage. Don't do that, please. It's a really easy mistake to make. And other than that, let's take it to the optimizer and see if it works. I mean, it should, in theory. And remember, we said use pocket tool. We've turned on pocket for our 3/8 compression. Let's go to cut list, optimize. We got enterprise, like I tell you every single time. I'm not bragging, I'm just letting you know what you're looking at. And then we'll optimize this. Well, I am kind of bragging because enterprise is awesome, but anyways, let's see here. Cool. So we have these parts. We're going to send them to the optimizer. Optimize. Sure. Batch optimize. Okay, let's see what we got. So this is super important. Whenever you're doing something with curves and all that, I like to zoom in. I'm on this single sheet, so not view all patterns, but I'm on single sheet. I'm going to hit generate G code, hit calculate, make this window a little wider. All right, so we have our pocket. Cool. That's that little radius that we put in there earlier. Excellent. This 3/8 compression. It looks kind of concerning, right? It's like, oh, what is going on? It's fine though. Let's zoom in even more and I'll show you what's going on. I'll show you how you can feel like a little more confident about it. So our compression, just doing 2 passes, easy. But what I'm looking at right now is like, okay, is that cutting on the inside of this pocket? Like, what's going on here? I believe it to be, but, and we're going to go down shear, and you can see when we click on down shear, the down shear line is clearly like on the outside there. Actually, you know what? It looks like it's cutting right on the center of the line. Huh, maybe it is. Pretty sure it's supposed to cut on the inside for a pocket toolpath. Well, either way, it's not a big deal. If it'd be kind of nice if it cut on the center of the line because we actually need, if we look at this, we need some engagement with this 1/8 inch bit. If it doesn't have anything to engage with, you're going to get these extremely annoying like little bumps in the corner. You're going to have to sand that out. Not the end of the world, but it's a small space to be working in. So you need to get out the rasp and file kit and um, put your focus hat on. Anyways, this is pretty solid. So this is going to work out. If we want to upgrade this a little bit more, you're still on board to continue on your learning journey, I would say that it would be cool to use an actual tool group in here. So what I would do, instead of applying the 1/8 inch down shear as a tool, I'd say screw that. Let's go to CNC tooling, panel tool group. We're going to add a group and we'll call this S001C shaker pedal And we're going to do, let's be a little more descriptive, shaker pedal cutout. And yes, you're right. There's a lot of different ways you could do this. You could actually use this instead of a pocket and do a closed toolpath. There's so many ways to do it, but this is just an upgrade. Heads up, we've already completed the task at hand. You can run that thing, check your G code, that's on you, but um, it's set up correctly as long as your tool heights are correct, your tool geometry is good, and you didn't like black out while you're following the video. Do it twice if you're unsure. So S001C, shaker pedal cutout. Now remember, this is an alternative. I'm not going to use my 1/8 inch down shear for this one. I'm going to use an 1/8 inch up shear. A long up shear from Mr. Frosty Frost. And I'll go on the center line. I'm going to offset 0.0625. I'm going to say through cut. Now remember, this frost up shear probably has 0 pass depth. It does. I'm just going to put it at 1875 for now. So you either change the pass depth to 3/16 or you make 4 passes in here with the same tool. So I would literally add this tool 4 times if I want to preserve the pass depth I have for my frost up shear. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations of this tool basically. I'm just going to do the one for now. Say through cut, make sure our pass depth is good. And then don't forget tool engagement, please, for the love of God. So move this thing over, press offset, go minus 0.01. Now that 1/8 inch up shear is going to be engaged all the way along the pocket. Remember that border of the pocket is the green line. We're going to stay engaged all the way around that little elliptical pocket. And we're going to be super happy. So we made that. It's not updated because we have to update our door library. And this is like Saturday morning tutorial, 47 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, if I could have started Mozaik with this video, crazy. Okay, so we're back in our our pedal headquarters, and we're going to click on this toolpath. I'm going to go to select, and instead of selecting a tool, we're going to do what we probably should have done at the beginning, because that's what the pros do. And we need this S001 the shaker pedal cutout. I'm going to do that for the rest of them too. And that way, I mean, truly, you don't want to do it as a pocket too. I mean, if you're this far and you're doing this, you probably have opinions. You're like, oh, I do this in V-carve all the time. I just use a 1/4 inch down shear and I let the puck do whatever it does. Then just do that. That's fine. I probably would have at one point too. It's all good. Do whatever you're comfortable with doing. So now we have this toolpath. So if you're one of those, if you know what you're doing here, just you could stick with the pocket or you could add your 1/4 inch down shear to that tool group too. Really should have named this with an underscore at the beginning. How about that? Boom. You could add your 1/4 inch in here too and just forego the pocket or whatever. All right, so we need to close this. And I'm just kind of curious. I mean, the video is basically over. You can go now, but I'm gonna re-optimize this for my second run. I'm sticking around for a little bit. And we're gonna optimize. I don't know what. I think I'm gonna do like 2 more videos today, probably for the closet stuff. So click on this sheet, zoom in all the way, generate G code. Gonna be a little different now. Oh, frost up shear is not in the. See this little error? Not in the tool set. So I'll put it in the tool set. We have this large imaginary tool set. I guess there are shop savers that have 15. think the N300 actually offers 15 now. That's the Homag one. Or you could go like SCM and get 24 or 30 or whatever. You could 100 on a conveyor belt. I'm just rambling. So let's get this frost up shear. I'll insert it. Now this should work because we have the right tool. Excellent. All right, pocket. Got it. Next pocket, 3/8 compression. Now the next thing that's going to happen in there is this guy. Let's zoom in, and I really want to make sure that that blue line won't technically be on the gray line. The gray line is our tool path. Blue line should be technically 0.0525 away. It's going to cut 0.010 of an inch past the gray line, but we see the center line. Calculate. Where you at? That one and that one. Oh yeah, perfect. This is way better. This is a way better way to do it because now we're staying engaged and we don't have those crazy looking things to worry about. Another nugget, in case you didn't know, you can go into 3D, go into the top view. I bet I show this on every video, but that's great. You can go in the top view and then you can start dimensioning. Right? Boom. 2.5. What's this one? 1 point whatever. Cool. This is 0.9689. That's interesting. And then we put 1 inch in there. What's this one? Oh, that's because we're taking off another 0.010 on both sides. So same thing. We get it. This won't technically be 2.5. It'll be a little over. Yeah, a 30-second over. Cool. I feel good about that. I mean, if a architect or designer is speccing out a 2.5-inch long, if it's 2.531, not gonna care. And even if you're still getting a little bit of jaggedness, you go to CNC tooling, panel tool groups. You get your S001C. You could move this over more even. You could go over another 5,000. So you could say minus 0.005. Press enter. Boom. All right. Well, that's it. That's your master class on pedal setup. Now, just keep in mind, you want to find this again. Save this test job so you always have the pedal thing to come back to. But if this area was a little confusing for you when we went into settings and edit, remember it's the same thing as going up to edit and job parameters. Changing those. I never do that, but anyways, I always go here. If you want to use the pedals, just bring in this construction method. If this whole thing confused you up here, just I don't know, watch the video again. You'll be fine. Or if you're at one of those 50 employee shops and you got 12 designers running Mozaik, you're probably password protected from doing this stuff anyways, so hopefully. Cool. All right. Well, that's the end of this video. That was a pretty great unscripted. That was super fun. I'll do more. Just let me know if you got any other topics that you want me to cover. And pretty much have an endless list already, but maybe we can get it to the top. And like, subscribe, share, do the thing. Thanks a lot for watching. We got 54 minutes. Not bad. Later.